People are asking me right now, why am I building chatbots? I'm going to show you in this video why I'm building chatbots, why you should be building chatbots, why everybody should be building these chatbots. I've seen what it can do to a business and it's crazy. So I'll give you the step-by-step for not only how you can build your own chatbot, but why it's important to do it right now. And what is the return on investment of your time? But first, let me explain what this is. So we have a funnel. We're going to build a funnel. Let's just imagine there's some rows. And if you don't know what a funnel is, that's okay. I'll just walk right through it. So say you're a small to medium-sized business and you have customers coming in because of your marketing efforts. They're coming in because you spend money on Facebook ads and meta ads, or you just make content organically and you're using social media to get your customers. People have a lot of trust in social media now. They want to buy on Instagram. They want to build trust with the brand over a long period of time. So it's becoming a huge deal. And you're going to get this marketing attention. And the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to get some engagement from it. So what are they doing? Your marketing piece has some call to action, right? Hey, click this, comment this, message me, like this post, etc. So you're going to engage with them. What is the very first thing that you're doing? Typically, it's some form of copy. It's some form of like marketing copy, or you're going to say your opening line to these people. What is the first thing that you say? What you're doing now is you're going to get them to opt in. They're going to opt in to receiving more information from you and learning more about what you do. Once they opt in, they are talking to a chatbot. And I think you would be surprised with how many interactions you have had with chatbots that you might not even be aware of. I built something for a client doing 20,000 chats a day, 20,000 new chats a day. They were trying to have virtual assistants manage this, but there's no way you're managing volume. What we expected was a big drop in performance. Well, the human touch, the human touch that. Actually, it's not true. The data shows otherwise. Turns out they don't know that they're talking to a chatbot. They also prefer to get things in a timely, consistent, and just high value information. So the chatbot is now an integral step in a lot of people's funnels. And they're doing it wrong if they're not doing something like this. But regardless, your chatbot's going to send a closing line, some sort of call to action. What do you want your objective to be? We are going to send the link to the booking. We're going to get them signed up to the appointment. Well, let's make that assumption for now. So they're going to a landing page. What does that look like? Is that a busy storefront? Does it scare them off? Do they bounce off of that? Or do they go right on through to the next step where they buy your product? We're happy that they made it all the way through. But along the way, there's going to be certain people who drop off, like percentages. Maybe you don't get 100% of people who make it through your marketing effort, and maybe you only get, okay, so this has a conversion rate of 3%, then your opening line loses, I don't know, 30% of people. Then your chatbot converts pretty well, let's say 69%, and then your closing line. And then for whatever reason, your landing page is pretty busy. So let's just say that's 50%, and they don't really love the landing page. And for whatever reason, your sign up process is too busy. You actually get less than like 30% of that. And so you may have some kind of overall rate of 5% or less, depending on, and I'm talking like the total funnel of everything you're doing. Okay. So that's the funnel, how you would build that out. A lot of the people I work with, it's rare for them to have a funnel at all. They don't have any of their data set up. And what we do is we build that data for them. Here you are. You have all of your known contacts, how many responded to your first line, how many are qualified, how many were sent the link, because you don't send the link to everybody. Some people are just asking questions. It's not something where you want to close or send the link. How many people who were sent the link they actually clicked the link, how many booked an appointment, how many clicked the package that they wanted to buy, how many finished the registration, how many bought the package. If you don't have these metrics, most business owners just don't. I don't think they do. I think their marketing teams are setting them up for failure. They're looking out for their own interests. They just want a pixel. And when I say pixel, I'm saying they install like a little tracker on your website to see how their ads are converting. And they're using that to their advantage to keep working with you. But I believe in total transparency, and we can build this entire pipeline out. This is exactly what we do. And so with this, you're able to make decisions off of it. Here is another version of the funnel. Let's say this is organic traffic. This is paid traffic. Maybe this is just outreach, or you're reaching out cold to businesses. If this, for whatever reason, has a lower conversion rate than we might expect, all right, let's evaluate your call to action. Let's talk about how relatable your content is to your target audience. Do you have an avatar you're speaking to, like a version of a person that you are trying to market to? Or are you just marketing to everybody? Are you building a community? Like maybe you should be engaging more with your audience because they don't feel like your content is something they want to engage with. Then you have things like, am I losing people on my opening line? So there's a percentage of people that will just not even respond, even though they clicked your ad or even though they messaged you in the first place. Let's change the copy. Is your opening line a big wall of text? Does your opening line scare people off and make them think they're about to go do some big admin project? Maybe you need to improve the magnet that you're using to get them there in the first place. They were willing to click on the ad for a very easy, simple, free thing, but now you've sent an opening line that makes them think, there's too much friction here for me to value what you're giving. Maybe you need a more compelling topic. So there's a variety of ways we can improve this. And then same thing here, there's some sort of qualification step. So if you're not using a chatbot, which I recommend that you do now because the technology is so good, people are using a form, okay? But now that you want to work with me and you want this lead magnet for whatever reason, you're going to have to fill out this form to get it. I need your phone number, email, social, all this information. That's way too much friction. The flow is too rigid. And while you may qualify them expertly, you lose a big percentage by doing that right here. So imagine having to do work after clicking an ad. That's crazy. You want this to be a seamless process. You want it to be organic. If it's bad and you are using a chatbot, maybe we got to make it more engaging in some particular way. We got to change the targeting a little bit, change the voice. Like how is the chatbot talking to your customer? And then we have the closing line, sending the link. Great. It's got to align with the offer. You have to handle all the objections. Have we handled all of the objections appropriately within this step before sending them the link? Because I think a lot of people are doing this thing where they just send the link right away. Hey, as soon as we send this opening line and they respond to it, let's get them to our landing page. I like the idea, but in reality, people do not want to click that link. Imagine for a moment that you are just sitting on your couch, scrolling your phone, and you are ripped from your couch and thrown into a busy store. You don't know where you are. You don't know what it's going to look like. It's just jarring. And you're not exactly comfortable with the brand yet or what you're looking to buy. You were just scrolling the phone and you just had a passing interest. You're not warmed up in any way. So that's what's happening when you just advertise and put all that stuff out there and then you just send them the link right away. They don't want to click that. They were on Instagram or Facebook. Like they don't want to leave the platform. What do you do instead? You try to build trust, build rapport before you send this link and just send them out into no man's land to get them to buy. So there's a lot that you can do to improve the rate at which they click your landing page link or opt in to book a meeting. Then, of course, you have the landing page experience. So maybe they click the link and they get to your landing page and there's too many options. The copy on this landing page is really bad. Like it's unclear what they're even doing. You can modify this as well. And then maybe there's a point where they're going to book a meeting with you or they'll book a meeting with one of your sales reps. The percentage of people who actually buy is pretty low. And that's not great. You can improve that by revising your sales script or making being more prepared. So it like refeeds itself. So how much information can we collect during this phase that can inform this discovery call or this sales call to where the people doing that call are very prepared. They know exactly, there's a report on their desk that tells them who this customer is, what their pain point is. And that's why it's important not only to take the percentages at each of these steps individually and make adjustments, but look at this entire thing as a whole picture. If you look at this as a whole picture, are we talking about the thing on the sales call that made them click the marketing thing in the first place? Is the pain point aligned? Because your first thing on this sales call should be addressing why they are interested in your service in the first place. If you're talking about some other offer, that's horrible. Like you spend all this work trying to get them there and you're not aligned. So this comprehensively needs to be taken into account. You want to optimize for the buy, not necessarily optimize for getting them to the next step on their own. But these are little levers that you can pull. And again, I don't think many businesses are doing this, at least to the degree that they could. Part of that is because they're just not collecting the data, or they're not collecting the information that they need to collect. Let's talk about what this looks like. Yeah. Here we have the chatbot flow. Okay. A lot of what people are doing now. So they market on social media and they are just going through this very rigid process. You've got your first line, and then that's the opening line. They've engaged with you, and then you've said something. Then they're going to fill out a form. Okay. Now they're doing some work and it's very rigid here. They still just have questions. Imagine, hey, I'm interested in this, but I just want to know this one specific thing. I don't really know if I want to fill out a form yet to get it. What is it? What does this company do? I have a question about your products. What's it like to work with you guys? It's also not going to get you nodding and thinking that you're in the right place. And then they do fill out a form. Maybe there's a lead magnet here, takes them to a landing page, and then they're either going to click book or buy, and they're not logging any information down besides what is taken from this form. Okay. So if it's not on the form, they don't have it. Like, they don't know what the user's questions were, what their objections were, any of that information. And they may do a follow-up. So like they reached out to me. I'll just send them a quick message within the 24-hour window. Great. It's just not quite enough. And so going to this other thing. So yeah, it looks like more steps here, but these steps ensure that the percentage of people who make it is much higher in the long run. So what are we doing instead? We have our first line, then we are tagging them. Okay, let's tag them for why they reached out in the first place so that we can align the pain point that brought them here. Imagine now that you have an ad that says, hey, comment ready, or comment expert, or comment 55, or comment something, some very specific thing. Well, we can use to our advantage and say, our ads that are targeting this persona or this pain point are going to have this trigger word. Cool. Now we can tag each customer and make sure that we're all aligned in how we speak to them. And we can use that to our advantage with the chatbot as well. So what we're going to do with the chatbot is we are going to say question. We're going to ask them a question, not meant to be a tricky question, just one to get them saying, hey, we're going to make sure that we are the right fit. Question could be anything like, what are your symptoms? Or it could be, what makes you interested in this service? What industry are you in? And then we'll ask another more specific question based off their first response. Okay, if you had this, would this make sense? How many months have you been dealing with this symptom, or something like that? And then you're going to give them a diagnosis. And this diagnosis it's not specific to the medical industry, but you're basically going to diagnose them with your unique mechanism. What's a unique mechanism? In some cases, you could say, what is the thing that you offer that nobody else offers? I'll give you an example. So we're going to diagnose you with nutrient depletion because that is the thing that we solve. That's the problem that we solve. Has anybody ever told you that you're just nutrient depleted? No, I don't think so. Then they're like, wow, I'm in the right place. Okay. This is a business that understands me. Now they've given me a diagnosis. Like I must need this thing. So you've diagnosed them. Okay, great. Now you just reverse the risk, say, awesome. We treat nutrient depletion for thousands of people. We do this all the time and they love it. Here's all the results and success that we have. And then you do your call to action. Okay. This is where you start saying, cool. It seems like we're a great fit and we're clearly in agreement here. Why don't you just talk to our owner? Okay. Super easy process. I can get you set up on a call right here now. So yeah, you can convert them on platform. You don't need to send them to a landing page, but you can also do other things too. Imagine they had some objection right here. You can send them to a downsell. What's a downsell? Okay, maybe they have a heavy price objection that you can't overcome, but you have a store, another lower tier package, all this stuff you're not capitalizing on. Not everybody is a fit for your main offer, but you may have some smaller offers that you want to send them to. Rigid structures don't allow for that. And if they do, it feels clunky and unintuitive. And then salespeople are like, they do it in an awkward way sometimes. If you're a human in the loop here, they may be too pushy in one direction, make people feel bad about getting the downsell in another direction. This is a great opportunity for a bot like that. Okay. By the time they get to a book or buy right here, it's green. It's a lot better. We're going to have a lot of information now about them. What were their answers to these questions? How did they respond? Did they mention anything? Can we get some notes on them? Is their profile public? Can we understand a little bit more about them so that when they get to a point where they're booking and buying, we are in total alignment? Your sales team knows about this person. They're ready. They're prepared for their meeting, their call. Can they do a little pre-research to be even more prepared? Great. And then we can do all the follow-up sequences too for weeks afterwards. Depending on your campaign, you can follow up on them. You can say, hey, maybe it takes several different times where you're reaching out to them before they actually convert and buy. So with that, you'll have a bunch of percentages on all of this stuff. You'll find that as we go down the route, it's going to be way better than just doing this. Why? Because you're not cutting out chances to fail, because I think a lot of people are like, oh, less steps, less opportunity for people to bounce off. That's only partially true, because what's happening is you're front loading a lot of this sales process over here. You were going to have to be doing this on the call. Okay. But now you're doing it on platform. You're converting them on the same platform that they're already using. So that is the biggest benefit there. Okay. And we talked about a funnel. One of the things that's really great about what we do is we don't only just give you, okay, my percentage is down. What am I supposed to do with that? Here's a few options that you can do to improve that, or at least try it. You don't want to make an assumption. You instead could do what's called an A/B test. You've got option A, you've got option B. So when you make a adjustment, you're only adjusting very specific things, and you're measuring according to what your hypothesis is. Like, now we're scientists and we help you out with this. Okay, I send the downsell link and I give them a big paragraph of copy and I say, hey, we have all these different options that you could use. We have even more that you can buy from us, blah, blah, blah. And then you also send at the same time 50% of the other people a much smaller copy. Say, hey, we have options as low as $14. If this wasn't a good fit, no problem. Just click the link below and you can see what else we can do to help. Way shorter, and then just see which one compares. Do they need more information in that before you send them the link, or are they okay with just that short little brief thing makes them feel like it's not too much effort to read through the entire package? And then you'd find, okay, this one literally has a higher percentage of people who convert. They click through the link and then they buy. This one does not. So I'm going to continue with only this one. And so instead of sending 50% option A and 50% option B, you're now just sending 100% to option A because it worked better, or option B because it worked better. And so now we can validate the decisions that we made over here and say, I changed my landing page, but it's hard for me to tell how long is it going to take for me to see this number increase, etc. You can do it super easily if you can just separate them in a thoughtful way and then conduct this test. With that, we also have the ability to measure this data real time and show you exactly a dashboard-like view. Imagine you've got a test of all your different things that you're testing, and you can see, how's my test going for the different chatbot that I have. I've got a chatbot that does an entirely different behavior or sequence of questions. Or you could do it as simple as I'm just sending a link to 2 different versions of a landing page and seeing which landing page converts. Or I've just got my opening line changed, and we'll see that. And so you'll be able to see a breakdown of who made it to which step and why over time. But in reality, this is a lot of what people need. They need this, and you can get this in a way that you couldn't using the chatbot instead of a human sales rep, or just with an ultra rigid process. And what that looks like in practice is very simple sheet view so that you can see, hey, I can tell you how many people made it to which step. I can tell you, oh, they went all the way to the discovery call, but they haven't bought yet. Hey, maybe they responded. So they made it past the first line of copy, and then they still responded. So they opted in to hear more about the business, but then they just need a little bit more of a push to get through to the next step. Maybe we qualified them already. Hey, our bot went through the entire process and then it just hasn't sent them a link yet. So they haven't actually answered all of the questions. And of course, like, you can take information, objections. Maybe the objections are something that you absolutely need to handle all the time. And so what this gives us is, over time, you can see a long trend. Look at all this data that you didn't have before. Yeah, see, these are all the trigger words up top, the trigger words that you can track and compare. When I'm speaking to a certain pain point, is that a better conversion rate than the other ones, or what? Where's my traffic coming from? Hey, which chatbot version should we be using? Chatbot A asks these questions. Chatbot B asks these other questions. So you can look through those as well. So you get all this information and you can make decisions off of it. So what does it mean in practice? When we build this out, here's an example of a basic one, okay? We're connecting to a service called ManyChat, in some cases for social media like Facebook and Instagram. And I just have a simple automation here for the standard package that lets us go and just say, hey, do we know this person? Yes or no? Yeah. If we don't, then we're going to create like a new identity for them. We're going to remember everything that they say. And then every single time we respond, we're updating our knowledge base about what they are, like their objections. Have we sent them a link yet or not? What other information we need? And then we're going to send their response back to them. But maybe we already know a lot about them. In this case, hey, if we do know this person, then we're going to reference our original conversation to go from there. And so one of the things that we do on the call to set this up is we just say, we start building out these nodes for the client. So what information would we like to collect from these people so we can make decisions off of it? Do we need to collect if are they a homeowner? Have they considered buying a house before? Yeah, how many homes do they own? I don't know. It could be anything like that. What's their experience in the fitness space? You can have all this information recorded so that you can optimize your ads as well. Okay. And so this is roughly our process. We'll go through and we'll do an initial call. That initial call is going to tell us all we need to know about, hey, if we're just like a good fit in terms of working together, we're just going to introduce ourselves, hear about your business, hear about your constraints, all of that. So do our opening call, and then we'll do a proposal and terms call. So like in this case, we'll just go through actually having a demo ready for you with your bot, because we can get something set up and scale it really fast in your business. So what we want to do is just say, hey, here's what we think this bot might sound like for you. What are the nodes that we want to build out for your business? What's the information that we want to collect? Where do we see the most value in having the bot push someone towards? What is the sales copy we could be using? And at the end of this call, we'll have enough information to give you a good idea of an estimate of what it would cost to build it. And we have our packages, of course. So really we'll diagnose it. We'll say, you guys should be doing something like this. After that, we'll get all your information on an onboarding call. So any accounts that we need to set up, in very few accounts, but if we need to set up some accounts to make the process work, we'll do that. Then we'll build this chatbot right here. And this process could be around 2 weeks, if not way less, depending on what the bot is and what we're trying to make it do. Is it going to be booking them an appointment on platform, or is it going to be sending them to a landing page or VSL or something like that? That'll influence it. But we can build these things very fast and deploy them very fast as well. We'll test it. We'll get your approval. And then, of course, like we have our advanced analytics that we can do. That's one of the biggest benefits, advanced analytics, advanced features on these bots. It's not something we have to add right away, but we can add it later and then refine it as well. And then we will support you with this, right? We can help you make decisions based off of the data that we're collecting together. So we would say this information or this conversion rate is low. Here's what I recommend doing to improve it. In our experience with these bots, adjust its question sequence like this. I think it's going to perform a lot better. What's your opinion? And then you can give us feedback and we'll make this test together. So over time, we will continuously refine the AI automation experience for you to where you can see the metrics improve, and you're going to be able to see things get so much better and really dialed in. So we'll work with you for as long as it takes, or we'll be a partner with you for as long as you'd like to help automate your business in ways that you never were able to before. We want to be a partner with you, and we can do that for a variety of other things. We have other services that we can offer as well in terms of marketing, in terms of process optimization beyond just the top of funnel sales. We can actually help automate afterwards. Anything that you need with your CRM or your project fulfillment, anything like that. So with that, that's roughly how we all work together. Just here's a little bit more information about the actual bot itself. So we have a variety of ways that we can do this, but really just consolidated at the end of the day, a user is going to message or comment on a post of yours or an ad, or it'll come from some general source. And what you've noticed is this is all inbound, but it doesn't have to be. You can actually do this outbound as well. Outbound is totally fine and it works for our process. And then after they message, we can tag them with the trigger. We'll send an opening line. We can actually also comment back on them, say, hey, we just sent you a message, check your DMs. We can do that as well. If they are a solicitor or maybe another bot, we can handle that. We can handle folks just asking general questions and make sure they're still captured in this flow as well. So there's a variety of different things that we can do to help with all of it. Once they enter the conversation with the bot, I have it here as a little black box. You don't need to worry about what goes in it. We'll take care of that piece. But if they enter the conversation with the bot and then they fall out for whatever reason, they don't have to continue and just talk to them for an hour straight or for the entire session of what they're looking for. Instead, they can send a response, leave for 6 hours or 2 weeks, and then send another response. We'll still remember everything. And beyond that, if they do fall out or if they don't fall out, we do follow-ups as well. So we make sure that they are constantly supported and heard. And we can recapture and remarket and so on. But as this bot is having the conversation, we are also putting into a CRM or a database, tagging these people. So this is not a human doing this, but the bot collecting information from the person, putting it in your database. And then you can send them a closing line and a call to action, something that you want them to do. And with this, I recommend doing something like a lead magnet. And what a lead magnet is, you are giving them something of value. You're saying, click this ad. And not only are you going to click this ad, just hear our pitch about our business, but really you're going to get something valuable that you are looking for, a template or a blueprint or our ebook on how to do that thing you're looking to do. You're going to give them something. And then in order to get that thing, maybe they give you a bit more information like their email so that you can get them on an email list and continue to push them towards some action they're going to take. Like maybe you're going to send them to your landing page after that as well, your video sales letter, something else. And then they're going to continue down this flow where they will go book a meeting with you or buy some products on your page. Once they're here, if they don't complete this step, just like all of these other areas right here, you can follow up. You can follow them and remarket, because not everybody is ready to buy right away. They require like 1 to 20 different things 20 different like touch points before they're ready to make a purchasing decision. A lot of people are just failing to capture that. They'll send a very simple email campaign, but we can make ours ultra personalized according to what their experience was here, because we collected this info during their conversation, and we're going to use this info to further personalize it. And again, if they have a public profile, you might know even more about them. Okay. And beyond this, we can go all the way back into a conversation with the bot, who does not have to live in just social media. The bot can live in email. They can live in SMS. They can live wherever you need the bot to live. It will remember all of the conversation between cross-platform. So this is how we go about building these chatbots. And I think you can tell I'm pretty passionate about how this is the future. People are using it as sales reps. People are using it to answer basic, frequently asked questions about their product or business. But it is so much more than that. If it follows them all the way through my top of funnel, why doesn't it just follow me throughout my entire business, delivering the product itself? Oh, I got to show you the bot in action, right? We've got like 25,000 messages here for a client. You're collecting all this information. Hey, all this stuff that you can use in your CRM. And these folks generally do not know that they're talking to a bot. All right. And then here's a quick demo. As you go through a conversation, it's recording all this stuff. Boom, there's your meeting page. And you can imagine they're warmed up and ready to go at that point. We work out the exact sales script and what it needs to be doing every step of the way. And you can see on our website, this is an actual customer. The first time they've ever felt heard was a chatbot talking to them. So yeah, it's a little interesting how things are changing nowadays. This is one of the best ways that you can make a big improvement to your business. This is something that will not only manage your leads, but will record all the information correctly and allow you to have a comprehensive view of your data in one place so you can make actionable decisions that affect your business, and we'll help you every step of the way. It's a super easy process to work with us. All you have to do is either send us a message to many chatbots on Instagram or Facebook. It works both on both. Or you could just go to our website. We'll set up a quick 15-minute meeting and go from there. Thanks.